Okay, so one of the questions I get a lot from my clients who are coming from out of state, they want to know, how in the world do we buy a house when we live elsewhere, like we live in Washington or we live in Minnesota or wherever they're coming from. How does this process work? Because houses sell pretty quick, and we can't just hop on a plane every time a house lists that we think we might like to run out and look at a house, and then what if we don't actually like it? What a waste of money that was. So yeah, I 100% agree. That's a really dumb idea. You would never want to do that. So this is how we do it. I talk to you and get a feel for what you're looking for. What are the main things that you want in a house? And typically, if you're a pretty serious buyer at this point, you are already constantly looking at a website. So first of all, the number one website I would recommend, and yes, I could recommend my own, but I don't think that's the best site for you to use, because there's gaps, there's areas of the market that are missing in my area. So, but in Wyoming in general, what I use, if I'm looking outside of my MLS, I use Realtor.com. And that's not really a plug for Realtor.com so much as it is a plug for them, because when a house is under contract, it will say contingent. If it says contingent, that means don't look at it. Don't get your hopes up. That house already has a buyer on it, and they're in the process of purchasing the home. Now, it could come back on the market. Maybe something happens. Stuff happens once in a while. But for the most part, it's highly unlikely that it's coming back on the market. It's already taken. Don't waste your energy looking at it. If you use a site like Zillow, Zillow does not show you if it's under contract. So you could just fall in love with this house, and then you call an agent and you're like, oh, we want to buy this house. And they say, oh, well, it's under contract, but let me show you a different house. That's how that game works. So anyway, okay. So now getting back to, how do you buy a house when you live 1,000 miles away? I talked to you about what you're looking for. We keep an eye on the market. You tell me if you see a house that looks interesting, that's for sale, and I will dig up everything I can about it. If it still sounds like something you're interested in, once you've seen any related covenants or anything about it, sales history, whatever that I can find about it, if you're still interested in it, then I make an appointment and I go to that house and I will do a video for you. But what I do when I walk through those houses is I walk through as if I'm actually showing you the house. And I will point out everything bad about the house that I can find, because I never want someone to buy a house thinking, oh, April, you didn't show us there was a big hole in the wall. No, if there's a big hole in the wall, I'm going to show you. If there's a stain, if I think it looks like a smoker lived there, or if I smell something weird, I'm going to tell you. Nicotine dripping down the walls, I'm going to show it to you. Anyway, same kind of thing as if I was showing you a house in person. I talk to the camera in the exact same way, and I show you everything I like or don't like, and I just give you my opinion on the house. In the end, it's up to you, but I will give you my honest opinion on the house and show you every bad thing that I could find about the house. So from there, I upload it to my YouTube channel, and then I give you that link. And you're able to look at it. You're able to share it with anyone you want to share it with. So if you want to share it with your parents or your brother or your cousin or your friend, or you got a local real estate agent, you want to get their opinion, go for it. Just send them the link. Okay, so let's say now you tell me, oh, we think we really like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to make a second appointment. And this time it's going to be based on your time availability. And we want to make sure it's daytime here. But, and let's try to do a live video if you want to. And we'll just do a live video on FaceTime or something, and walk through the house. And I'll show you if there's anything that when you were watching the video, you had some questions about. We can focus more on those areas. You can tell me, I want to look at this, I want to look at that. And so my camera will just be your eyes. At that point, now you're like, okay, we think we want to make an offer on this. Now what do? Now we write an offer, and we write that offer contingent on you seeing the property. It will be contingent on inspections, of course. I usually give about 2 to 2.5 weeks for the inspections to be completed. But then it's also in that time frame, you have that 2 to 2.5 week window to get your butt to Wyoming so you can see the house in person. I've had very few clients buy without seeing in person. That really scares me when they don't. Like I said, I try my best to show them every bad thing, but sometimes the house just has a feel, and maybe I think the feeling's fine and they don't like the feeling when they show up. I've never had a client tell me that, but there's a first time for everything. So anyway, I'd want you to come out here and see it. And what we would do is we would attempt to line up your inspections with your trip here. So then you're going to fly out here, or you're going to drive out here, right? And we're going to know what day you plan to be here. So you get here, we're going to go make an appointment. We're making an appointment. We're going to go see the house. You're seeing it in person. This is your chance to back out of the deal if you hate the house. I have never had someone back out of the deal and said because they saw the house in person and didn't like it. And I think that's because I've offered them a very true view of what the house looked like before they got there. So that said, let's say you look at it, you say, yes, we still want it. Well, guess what? We've already set up the inspection for the next day. That way, when your inspector's at the house, you're able to be at the house and you can hear everything your inspector has to say about the house in person. He'll show you what he finds and what his concerns are in person. Now, let's say you have to just get back on the road and you have to shoot back home, or you have to fly right back. You can't be here for your inspection. That's fine too, because we have quite a few inspectors that do a really great job around here. And not only that, but they put their inspections online. You can pay online. They send you a password and a link, and you go to that, and it's got all of the inspection on there. Sometimes they'll take videos if they find an issue. They'll video the issue and they'll explain what they're talking about. So I really like the inspectors that do that sort of stuff for my out-of-state clients. I think it's just easier for them than if they see a list of things that were found, but they don't have the graphic to go along with it, or a video. I think the photos and the videos and just the ease of access with it being online, and they can share that with, again, friends and family, dad's a contractor, whatever, they can share it and get other people's opinions on the results. So that is how you buy a house in Wyoming. Now, if you have a house to sell where you live in order to buy here, if you must sell it in order to buy here, okay, that's not a problem. You're going to list your house, and in your listing, you're going to want to tell your agent in your state that you need your listing, your sale, to be contingent on you finding suitable housing elsewhere, whether that be Wyoming, or if you're willing to move out and go into a rental while you wait to find a house in Wyoming, that's fine. But you want your sale to be contingent on finding something here. So when there's a house to sell elsewhere and I'm helping you buy a house here, if you give me your agent's contact information, I will work with them to make sure that we're all on the same page for closings, and we can typically close both on the same day. Some people like to close where they're at and have their U-Haul parked there and literally pull out of the parking lot from the title company and drive to Wyoming, give it 2 or 3 days or however far they're coming, and then close in person here. That's fine too. That way, at least you're doing your final walkthrough yourself. I like that. I don't. Again, I don't advise buying a house without ever seeing it. So, you always want to do a final walkthrough right before you close. And I will probably do another video on the horror stories of doing your final walkthrough too far in advance. So, anyway, that's the process. If you have any other questions about that, that's something that I maybe didn't cover, or you have a question within that process, feel free to drop the question in the comments. I do watch the comments, and I will reply. Or you can text me at 307-622-8993, or give me a call, and I'd love to help you. I didn't even say who I am. I'm April Poley with EXP Realty, and if you like this video and you want to see more of them, then hit the subscribe button and like the video. Thank you so much.